there are many reasons behind it. As you said, the tip of the iceberg, sexless marriage is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much that triggers this. Okay.
Yes.
Some of the marriages have never been consummated, and I know a few who I had been counseling, and I was quite aghast to, like, really. And then when I came to learn what were the triggers, there were many, multiple layers to which we react in this way. Of course. So, like a couple of them was like, I got married forcibly, and I don't want to give in to this, He can't or she can't force me. It's like both ways. I don't want to be at all gender biased. I believe even men face the same issue where they get sexual rejection over and over from their wives. And sometimes they come frustrated to me and asking me, how do I trigger her? How do I arouse her? Why is she so shut down? What did I do wrong? And when we start to explore that, we come to know that certain times the reasons could be even the wife has gone through certain sexual trauma. Okay? And she has never resolved that in the past. So for her, she could have not been comfortable with, the partner to explore sexuality. And other few issues were related to, emotional intimacy was missing. So the woman will surely shut down. Even if you had a good sex life and things started to disappear, your emotional availability was missing, for sure, woman will shut down. For a man, sexual rejection is more hurting than even a job rejection.
Correct. Shiva, if I can add something to that, one reason why I decided to start VVox is my personal experience in a sexless relationship. The problem is when you go through a sexless relationship, as a man, your male ego will never allow you to admit fault. You will blame your partner, okay? And that aggravates the situation further. You as a man, because you have been conditioned to believe in certain way that masculinity has to be in certain way. But at the same time, you are not given the right training to talk about sex.
Correct.
So when it doesn't happen in the bedroom, you will unleash that frustration on your spouse and start blaming her. And you will be reluctant to even go and meet a doctor because you don't want to do that because a man is, because men rarely talk about sexual issues. Women, it is relatively due to the biological requirement which they go through in their upbringing. They will have a stage where they have to open up, but men don't go through that process, and neither do they share. Even if they share with their friends, it will be in a very to pass some side remarks or jokes. They don't
I think men are never given the opportunity to share even emotional kind of. रोना नहीं है, आप आदमी हो, आप male हो. So I think there is where the communication barrier lies. Suddenly there is so much of onus on the man that we are not supposed to do this. This results in a lot of misunderstanding, miscommunication with their partners as well. A lot of our curiosity that builds up during our puberty or our teenage, either that curiosity takes us to the right path of open communication or it takes us to shun down. You're not supposed to talk about it. I think this is also one of the reasons where people don't communicate, or females or males don't openly communicate, because they feel that this is not what we are supposed to talk about in public or with our partners as well.
Absolutely. And it can be addressed to a great extent if we had age-appropriate, medically accurate sexuality education in our country. Because that will build the foundation for kids, for adolescents to communicate about issues when they grow up and when they enter into a relationship. The importance
Absolutely.
of
I think I remember my son when he was I think only 10 or 11, he asked me questions which were bizarre, but I wanted to kill his curiosity there and then, because instead of going out and getting wrong answers, I didn't want that to happen. So closest possible answer to address him at that point of time was, I think, the best that I could do as a mother. So I think parents also need to intervene with their children.
Correct.
Absolutely.
And it also reminds me of a certain marriage, one of the couples who came because of pornographic addiction, and their marriage was on the verge of divorce because the lady said that he is like, he needs pornographic view before he
Stimulation.
starts out with me. And, it was like, you'll be surprised that it was a love marriage. Of course, she did not know that he had a pornography addiction. So it was sad that even, when she was the most beautiful, she was very pretty girl. I couldn't believe it that, he needed, and he couldn't, he was so programmed by pornography that even if she was beautiful, he still needed that as a trigger, as a kick. Because when I dive deeper into his issue as to why is he bringing pornography every time to the bedroom, so it was quite, it won't be alarming, because of many men, when they were growing up in the puberty stage, they actually took on to pornography so much so that was their now programming, their sexual, association also. So I would say that, the way we visualize, perceive sex, the way we perceive sexuality, the way we perceive ourselves, the way we perceive a man or a woman. So all this will play in your intimacy, whether you're programmed by the pornography or whether you were programmed by your social construct or parental things or, religious impact, or maybe even, other books also and media.
Sangeet, tell me why, or not why, but how healthy or unhealthy it is to be addicted to pornography.
See, that is what I was about to, get to that point which Shivani was just discussing. See, the pornography, if you are talking about as an addiction, it doesn't exist because it is medically unsupported. The terminology porn addiction is medically unsupported. That is unsupported by DSM-5, which is the Diagnostic Manual of American Mental Health Professionals, which even Indian doctors refer to that. Also by World Health Organization, and also by ASATEC, which is the Association of American Sexuality and Sex Therapists. So none of these organizations, none of the scientific bodies regard pornographic addiction as a disorder. Okay. So what the problem is, but as Shivanya rightly mentioned, there are problems in relationships due to porn. But so what is it? Why? What is happening here? The main issue is not exactly pornography. Pornography is the manifestation of the symptom. What actually is the issue is the underlying unresolved issues between the couple, which you mentioned a few minutes ago. Yes. That is what actually the trigger. The porn is the visual manifestation of the problem which is underlying it. Of course, there is a related aspect to porn as well, which men keep asking me. Okay, fine, you say that pornography is not addictive. Okay, but what about erectile dysfunction? There are people who are saying that pornography will lead to erectile dysfunction. Again, the answer is yes. If you watch porn, your sexual response in the bedroom will be diminished. But why is it? Because you expect your partner to behave in the same way as a woman in the pornography behaves. Because your expectation of sex is unrealistic.
Correct.
And that is where you need to have a healthy understanding or porn literacy, where sexuality education matters.